Hey everybody, welcome back to Pokemon Colosseum. It's me, DeoGenZ, and we're revisiting some old memories. Memories of which we as gamers never had, but we can surmise some things. That's right, the old Team Snagem hideout. We're coming back to see if there was any survivors. But first, we've got messages. There's a Bayleaf trainer. Oh, so Kale gave us some better information about a Shadow Bayleaf trainer named Verde. That was the guy we saw in Phoenix City that we passed up to get Quilava. And now we'll have a chance to reclaim Bayleaf again. Because like I said, this is a 100% run. You can in fact get every Shadow in the game, even if you defeat the trainers once. Usually the game is nice in letting you do it once again, battle once more when the trainer has a new team, and it's usually tougher. It's like, imagine taking down Entei, trying to capture it at this stage of the game. Which actually is possible. I think I was mentioning before. Whoa! Out of nowhere. Nor. If it isn't me again. I know you? Do you have shadows? You want to fork over some more Pokemon? Come on. A fortress? I think I've already got a fortress, but maybe you don't have a shadow. That's all the same. All the same, because we are here looking for Verde. I wonder if he's hiding out in this Team Snagem X hideout. Because these are Cypher dudes. That's a Cypher costume. I was expecting to see some old schlub on the couch saying, the bombs went off, but the beer was still cold and good, so I didn't leave. What, you're gonna sue me? I was expecting that. Something from Team Snagem, not the Cypher. But since we've deciphered that the Cypher and Snagem are hand in hand in the Pokemon land of Ore, we know that they're trying to work in cahoots to take everybody's stuff. And by stuff, I mean Pokeballs, and by... yeah, I don't know if you could call a Pokemon a stuff. It's a thing. It's a creature. Is it an animal? What phylum is a Pokemon in? I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure. But I do believe that since this is the old Snagem hideout, we might run into a certain Zap that is gone. And I'm not just saying that because Jumpluff got paralyzed. Gone Zap. That guy. The main boss Muckety Muck. Who ran amok and tried to stop us from even taking on the Cypher before we went up the elevator, and whose many resets you will never see because his Skarmory was so walling me, and not even, it was stall walling. That's what it was doing. It's not like it was preventing me from moving on. It was preventing me from moving on by not staying in the goddamn ball. All the chanting I did solo, that's why, oh man, I wish I almost played these through livecast. This way I had the viewers live chanting, Yumo Gwe Gwe Fi Mi Zao, Yumo Gwe Gwe Fi Mi Zao, to give me power of capture. It has worked for us, but running solo before and going after that Skarmory again is probably going to be more difficult at this point, I want you to know. So consider your options. Either you're impatient and you destroy the Skarmory, or you save in that little platform spot, you know, the PC that was taken up by that a-hole who challenged us to battle when we were at our last bits of health. It's so cheap. He's like, well, my Pokemon are good. Alright, let's battle. Oh, I don't care if you were trying to use the machine. Sorry. Not really. I'm not sorry at all. That's why I'm battling you right now. Biatch! Oh, and we've got another email. Emails are awesome, because they help us with completing this game. So he's discovered, we know about Tyranitar, Mischievous, Slugma, Smeargle, Absol, and Heracross. Heracross. Huh. Do we have Heracross? I don't think so. I don't recall running into Heracross. Maybe we did. Oh, it's been so long since I played this game. That's the one problem with deciding to start up a new LP. It takes away attention from the already running ones, even if it's just the end game. the post challenges. This game does have a lot of end challenges for you, and there we go. Mr. Baldi, playtime's over. I'll reduce you to a embarrassing state, a pile of muck that's stuck on the bottom of my shoe from stomping you out. Yeah, that's what I expected. These guys. These Goombas just show up and try and stop us with their non-shadows. Like they think they're badass. They just did the dirty work. They could have run that whole organization by themselves. If they... Consider this. If they had a regular army of captured Pokemon before they met Cypher, and they're like, well, show us the plans. You know, we don't know if this grand scheme of yours is really legit. We want to see a prototype. Yeah, a prototype. Show us the process. And then Team Snagem gets the information that they need to make their own shadows. And then they say, you know what? I don't think this is going to work out, bub. And offs them with their army of already prime Pokemon just from capturing and training from others. They must have traded up. I don't know how they would train up unless they're just going around beating others and then taking what they will in the process. That's probably the way. But they had the technology. They had the thing. They had the one component that Cypher needed. I think Cypher's plan would have been easier to jack. You have that bipolar mayor as the leader of that organization, and you don't think you can tease out some data from him? You don't think you can go, you know, hey mayor, show me the plans. Come on. What's this nonsense of shadows? I don't believe it until I see it. And then he's got to show it. And then you know it. So let's see. Gonzap, we're back. Our boss is not here. Huh. I wonder if Gonzap doesn't return because we already took his Skarmory. We scarred him for life. And in return we get 3 rare candies without even having to battle him. This is anticlimactic. Well, then there has to be some nooks, crannies, crevices, and other hallways that contain trainers, because I think he's got to show up. Even if we did beat him, I know I faced him a second time. So yeah, there's this stairwell. And this stairwell very well may lead to paths we have not taken. Because what else are we supposed to do? Verde, he's got to be around here. He's got to be somewhere. Kale sighted him. That delicious, crunchy, salty kale when cooked in the oven. Kale sighted him. And, oh, look, there's a box over there we didn't open. Snagem grunt. That's enough for your antics. I don't think it's enough of my antics. I think your Pelipper's full of antics. Anti-antics that are anticlimactics. So I'm going to have to destroy it. With lightning. Oh, speaking of lightning, I don't even know if this video will be out yet, but I recently found in Barnes & Nobles, of all places, who would have thought? Actually, you know, I will hand it to Barnes & Nobles. They've got some pretty cool selections. They've got a decent amount of manga, and each Barnes & Noble has a different set. It's weird. They don't have all the volumes of all of everything, but if you can kind of piece them together from store to store. Anyway, I was in there. And I found a black 2, white 2 inspired tin with black Kyurem on the front, the white Kyurem on the sides, and also the other black Kyurem to counterbalance the 2 dragons with Keldeo. I think it was its sacred form or whatever its new form is that I haven't even investigated yet. And inside the tin, in the center, there was a black Kyurem EX promo. Amazing. Incredible. And I was just reminded of that because the shocking power of ice and lightning. Who would have thunk it? You know, what other cool types do you think we're going to see in the 6th gen? That's the fun thing about redoing these games and you know, basically going over the memories, because it's looking at how far we've really come, how far in 3D Pokemon gaming have we actually traveled. Now we're getting 3DS applications that are fully 3D, showing of Pokemon forms. October, worldwide. everybody will see what the typical RPG, but in 3D, will look like handheld. And that's the format I think Pokemon is best at. If you can have GameCube level graphics on a 3DS, which I believe can be done. I mean, it's already sort of being done in certain games. I would argue that Kid Icarus is around that level, and it's even better with the 3D turned on, and Paper Mario on the 3DS. What is it? The Sticker Star. The Sticker Star Charge, whatever they would call this edition. But it all is looking amazing, and to realize that, well, you know, going further back, if I ever get a hold of an N64, maybe I have to play a ROM or something, you know, playing Stadium, that's where the first 3D Pokemon were seen, and then Pokemon Snap, and that would be fun. A Pokemon Snap LP, that would be fun. I never fully beat that game because I didn't have an N64, but I have played it at friends' houses, and I also now have it on WiiWare, so that could be in the works. Who knows? But to see how far we've come from the black and white Game Boy generation of when the base mechanics of Pokemon was being worked out, and who knew it would be such an addictive formula to keep people attracted for ages. We're talking multiple decades here. Multiple decades, or a decade. More than a decade, coming up on multiple decades. So much time of Pokemon. And for a franchise to be that successful with its characters, it's got a lot behind it. It has to be impressive in multiple tiers, which they do tackle. The metagame for the more hardcore players, the collectibles for the otakus that just can't get enough of the art and things of that nature. The games for everybody, video games that is, just because they're a solid RPG. They've got all fronts covered. And then they keep getting new people in with other generations. It's strange though. I hope they don't I hope they don't go the way of Guitar Hero. Move, Burly Man! Oh wow, this was the this was the blast. You are in my way all over. That's the blast spot where we actually took the snag machine from Team Snagem. That's where it was hanging up, and it's still on my arm today. I'm surprised that big burly guy didn't just punch me. I mean, you know, Seth or whatever this guy's name is in the game supposed to be. But in this role-playing game, we call him DeoGenZ. You know, I don't think he'd be that fit to beat back that brute. Although we did knock out his pokes, so we could use our own poke power to protect ourselves. I guess that's what it becomes, huh? If everybody has Pokemon, it's like, well, I better get some too, otherwise I'm gonna have to battle like you would in the Safari Zone. Trainer used rock! Trainer distracted with Cheetos! It was not very effective. But while we're on the topic of 3D Pokemon, would you like to see a remake of either Colosseum of Gale or Gale of Darkness on the 3DS, or B, would you rather a new, completely new addition to the Shadow Pokemon franchise for the 3DS? Me personally, I'd like something new. I've played this game, I've played the other one, and while remakes are awesome, remakes are great, it's just not that much to keep me coming back again and again, and again and again and again and again. I mean, they had me on Heart Gold. That was a different story because finally I have an edition where I can back up the save. I actually made a video about that, how you can back up your Nintendo DS cartridges so you could save your save games. And, you know, if something catastrophic happens to your cartridge, it gets stolen, Team Rocket comes by, takes your Pokemon, or it gets, like, eaten up in a wood chipper, you're bending over looking at the specs of a wood chipper, accidentally it turns on, and then there goes your game. There goes all your Pokemon you've spent hours and hours and hours and years raising and training. There it goes. You'll have a backup. So look for that video. I know YouTube is so convoluted now, but I think if you search backup Nintendo 3DS games on my channel, the video will come up. But that was the difference. I wanted a game that I could back up because my Crystal cartridge, my favorite game, died many times. Internal battery ran dry.